has started before we anticipated that he's going to do this. We anticipated it eventually. At one time, we were only under 10 to 15% surveillance. You know, it's not 90 and 100% surveillance, but it'll come a time, if things go the way we hoped it would, it's going to come a time when it's called waking them up and put them to sleep. That means you with them all the time. Wake them up from early in the morning till late at night. I can go outside of my house, I can come up from where I'm at, and if I walk and jump in the car and watch, I do it to make sure I'm right. That's the way it is. Somebody had to do that, and they had to be built for it. They had to be built for it. They have to thrive on it. And they have to have the spirit of, we used to call it, they call it clowning, ray feeling. Well, it's ray feel. You're going to clown the white man. Yeah, you clown him. You got to have that spirit. Because of what? One, you're clean. In Jahiliyyah, you wouldn't want to get caught dirty. Dirty means that you're packing something, you're carrying something. And in the last 40 years or more, we have been absolutely clean. It ain't nothing on us unless they put it on us. Right? So we can do what we want. We follow the law more than they do. No, we follow the law. That's why we said years ago, this flyer from way back, it's not way back, it's just 2014. In spite of Steve Emerson, Sean Hannity, Daniel Pipes, NSA, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, and a host of other clowns. Now, basically, nobody talks about this crew was a bunch of clowns.
Right.
They don't want the trouble. He called us what? In fact, you can't find hardly anybody in the Negro. I bet you can't find none of these boys that talk like that. They don't talk like that. Social invisibility of Black American Muslims lead to psychological trauma and suffering. I'm not saying that you got what you deserve. No, that wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be overflowing with goodness. But if you leave people out there hanging on a log, and you can read Quran and Hadith also, that gives you hidayah, give you guidance, give you direction, right? And it says if you see wrong being done, stop it with your hand. Physical power and force. Well, there's a lot of places you can't just jump up and say, hey man, I'm stopping y'all from doing that. You'll be very, very dead, very quickly. I mean, the brutalest death. And well, speak out about it. Saudi Arabia got women in prisons. They got the hellholes they got make these look like where people are just floating around in the sewage in the cell right now. They behead people they got this whole square, they just chop heads off. Just like the old brutal, people with the hoods on, the big old curved axe. They actually doing that right now. They're doing that in Saudi Arabia. They got some places they're famous for that. I mean, they actually, and most of the people are good people. Most of the people haven't did nothing. They got a post system. They got that rape stuff bad over there. So they rape men and women. Many of the ulama have been raped. Yeah. Because they're trying to break you down. And the stuff they do, the brothers from country 2, See, we studied everybody, and they said, yeah, if we was our ulama, a lot of the people we see, they would torture many of the good ones, and then they would take their man and scrub him all up, give him like he'd been tortured and everything, and set him back on the cell block with patches and everything like he'd been tortured. He's their man. So everybody says, cool, they build up his stature. This infiltration and sabotage is nothing new. It ain't nothing new. They've been doing it. It's just how far will people go? So what we said was, Imam Musa will inshallah share case study after case study on how to practice psychological guerrilla warfare. That's our job. Okay, not our job. Technically, that's my job. That's the job that I accepted. The numbers are relatively short, and so when you in your organizational stage, you have to choose correctly who's going to do what. Who can stand? Can you go all the way on this? What about if it lasts 20, 30, 40? How about 50 years? Can you hang 50 years? Of course I can hang 50 years. I'm 50 years old. You're going to have to do it sometime. That's what long-range struggle, that's what protracted struggle is. There has never been a page that we have written on, and we haven't had the outline protracted struggle over a long period of time. Okay, boss man, he been used to, we said it before, it was a good idea, but we said that boss man has not been trained to go up in the championship rounds. He's so mean, he been knocking people out. I mean, you think about the movement. He throw a punch, bam! Sometimes the people just drop. They don't go past, there's nobody go past any like third round. So boss man is not, it slips up on him. It did slip up on him. He looked up and there he was. There he was. The stuff they was doing in Oakland was short range. They started doing it thinking that, okay, we ran that 1-2-3 game on Imam Jamil, on our brother, and he did it. He did just what we wanted. They're similar. They demand respect. People respect them. Okay? People like them. So what we're going to do is, we're going to insult. We're going to start with insults. From people who are not tough. They're like, in the dunya we call them girls. Man, you're a girl. A B-word person. They're men who would be classified then and now as B-word personalities. And they're polices. Because when they get to acting, that's what comes out of them. That day-to-day, that foot patrol policeman. That I am the police. You don't have nothing else for respect except I am the police. Right? And if you don't show me respect for that, not for a house I built, or for a great landscaping job, or for the writings that I have done, or, you know, big stuff, real stuff. I am the police. And that's what those brothers were swearing by in Oakland. Abdul Malik, Mukhtar, all of them. Now you gotta imagine now, when I show you the Brotherhood list of Oakland and the Brotherhood list here, imagine all of those people on Boss Man's team against one man. Then add on to them the rest of California. let's say another 6 or 7 centers. 2 in LA, San Diego, Sacramento. Just add them on, and big communities. Big numbers. Right? Their team. Imagine if they believe in peer group pressure. Right? It has no effect on whatever personality. That means, it didn't come off like we planned. Let's run back. You can tell when things get hurry-scurry or whatever they call it. That this was not, they go and they do something else. But they don't go just do whatever they want. They go, now they're under your domestication. And you sit right here and tell them, well, next week we're going to have popcorn and we're going to have cotton candy outside the Masjid, and we're going to have all of this. And here they come. Their biggest show. To interfere with that. Exactly what we told them. Yeah. Right? No, we didn't tell them to do. We have the articles, the dates, they're there. We have these left over, you know, like we write. Yeah. Okay, remember, we got the book. We put that stuff here in the book. We have these notes right here. Cotton candy, you know what I mean? We're going to do this, that, and the other. Peanuts, Cracker Jack. We had Cracker Jack, everything.
Yeah, that was one of I remember. Yeah.
Boy, it's going to be a good show. And here they come. And it don't work. It don't work. And they steal your telephone and they snatch your microphone. They do all of that. That's supposed to make you mad. They're kicking the masjid, pulling in doors. They're doing all of that. Now, they have to have some right to do that, right? And we got tons of witnesses, all there. But we bring our witnesses. And rule number 1, no weapons. And you follow orders. Because people, they be mad. If you hear me on Sunday, you have to stand firm. Shut up. Don't move. Don't move. Don't do nothing. Right? And they do it. Why? Because that's what we wanted them to do. And then here come the police, finally. They take one picture of me, and all the people in the streets now ask, why they bring them guns to your church? Oh, no big deal. Why they block the street because some people couldn't run off? You see what they did? They come and they blocked the street and they was just running off. Some people with all the guns, they just run off. Why they do that? People on the hill and people everywhere, they see it. Case study after case study on psychological guerrilla warfare. I'm just telling you, they can say what they want, but Boss Man had got his clock cleaned over and over and over and over and over again, because we got our hands on the pulse, on his pulse. Forget about slavery and being in his house and flushing his toilets and all of that. And we know his behavior. I'm talking about up-to-date behavior. Because everything we have forecast have came out very close to what we mentioned. That's why we want to thank and congratulate the Invisible Army of Nonviolent Resistance. Never have so few done so much for so many without any visible help. Why not visible help? Because imagine what they're trying to do. They're physically assaulting. They're taking money. They're doing all this stuff. Why? So you can go get your crew and do them. And they use them for bait. They using them niggas as bait. That's why I drew them in the Masjid. I told them, I'm gonna help y'all, because this is bigger than what y'all ain't even, hey man. And then I even told them, I said, go see the movie had just come out, Bait, about, what's the Negro? The Negro. It was all right. They showed technology that they got, they've been had, and they showed how they work. So they're showing that they do that. Same with salt and all of that. That stuff is old now. They got, years ago, when our articles was coming out and our flyers, it was talking about roving wiretaps and all of that. They don't need that stuff, no. And that was 100 years ago. Technology, in the 80s, they could point at your window and pick up everything, By the 90s and 2000s, forget it. You don't know what they got. So you got to use it against them. That's what we've done. That's why we want to congratulate the people. The Army of Nonviolent Resistance. And that nonviolent resistance is so important because it gives us the upper hand. Believe it or not, crackpots still, contact or try to contact, but I don't have nothing to say. You know why I don't have nothing to say? Because it makes them mad. Imagine them, sometimes you can see phone call after phone call. Because you call somebody, you want to harass them, and they won't answer the phone. Right? Then you turn the phone off. They're just sitting there calling over and over, and they mad. And then you hold the phone way away and click it. Of course, you can hear it up close or way out here. But, da-da-da-da, click. Oh, and they just be mad. It's just child's play. But we play with them like children because they act like children. Their game is small. What I'm talking, like in the dunya, we call everything game, like what you was involved in. And there's boss game. Boss game is like what the big Negroes was doing. They had boss game. This game here, what we're doing is like quadruple, quintillion, or whatever those numbers would be, game. This is boss, 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 double, triple, quadruple boss game. Because nobody else came here before. You don't read anywhere in history, or do you? If you read Marcus Garvey's history, in 1940, that article came in the newspaper said Marcus Garvey died. The man died. He just jumped up and died. When he went back to Jamaica, they had the little kids following him around. I don't know if y'all ever saw those. They had little kids following him around, teasing him. So then he went back to Europe. Guess what? In the 70s, I went back to Africa. And I was telling one of my friends, y'all might know the name. So you went over there in Colombia, huh? Are they like Mexicans? I said, yeah, they're kind of like Mexicans. Yeah. I never liked Mexicans. I said, well, it's okay. So, brown berets and all them people, y'all black berets, what about the brown? All them people, what do you mean you don't like Mexicans? In other words, it was still racism. When I got back to Colombia, since I had told that I liked the people of Colombia, I liked it in Colombia. Before I left, the kids would follow me, Boxador, Boxer, or all kind of names. Good. When I came back, and I told the people that I love those people, because, you're black, you're a celebrity, the people can, ooh, look. And then they want to run around, they don't believe you, they want to pull on your skin and see, I know that ain't no real skin. I can pull that off. That's not real. I can pull that off. They kind of make it get on your nerves sometimes, but they're kids. They look, although Colombia is 33% black, but they're all up on the coast. Everybody in the interior is mestizos and indios, Indians. That's what they look like. Okay, let me get to the point. It was 30 years before I realized what had happened to me in Colombia. When I came back to Colombia, I still liked the people, but the people was almost making fun of me, right? When I saw the Marcus Garvey thing decades ago, I said, that's what they did. That's why long range and not leaving in a hurry is, oh my goodness, it's astronomical. I'm going to try to speed up here. So we congratulate the team. So this is like words of hope, inspiration, gratitude, we're very confident about the future, but every now and then you have to let people know that their stuff has done a lot of good. That's basically it. Now, there's another little issue I wanted to cover. Have anybody saw that documentary on Greta Thunberg, whatever it is? The little girl.
I haven't seen the documentary on it.
It's a doc.
Okay.
It's a doc. I just looked at it last night.
Okay.
And she has Asperger's. That means that she's not gonna, like me and you might say, oh, that's good, don't worry about it. Asperger's means no, it has to be, they don't say it has to be perfect, but to them, it's a thing that, I tell you, did you see the movie Accountant? Accountant. Remember that guy had that kind of thing.
Yeah, my freshman college roommate, he had Asperger's.
And he wanted, things had to be pretty much in order, right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't putting up with no like me and you. Don't make no difference. No, it's gotta be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. And they make sure the 5 looks like a 5, make sure, and she has that. And when it was over, she said, I wish that more people had Asperger's, maybe they should have it too. Because here's what happened. Now, first of all, they started a documentary when she was